was, actually.
But look, not everyone's convinced that President Trump will actually just go, OK, I'll go and, go back to New York. Our next guest says that the US system of government may not even be able to cope with a president who refuses to leave office. Joining us is Lawrence Douglas. He's law professor at Amherst College and author of the new book, Will He Go? Trump and the Looming Election Meltdown of 2020. Professor Douglas, thanks for having a fireside chat.
My pleasure to be with you.
How likely do you think it is that President Trump will refuse to concede defeat in November?
Well, I think one thing that is important to distinguish is refusing to concede and refusing to submit. By conceding, I mean like recognizing the legitimacy of a defeat. And I don't think there's any way that he's going to recognize that he legitimately lost. We see a pretty consistent pattern throughout his rather short political career that he always attributes loss to fraud or to some kind of hoax. He did that during the primaries when he was still a Republican candidate. That's somewhat different from the question of submitting to defeat. So, my book is not necessarily about imagining Trump barricaded in the White House come January 20th, surrounded by rogue Secret Service agents. But I do think that he will refuse to concede. And as a result of that, it's more than likely that we could see a lot of electoral chaos in the United States between November 3rd, which is when the nation goes to the polls, and January 20th, which is when the new president is inaugurated.
So what is the scenario that you're considering? What are the key questions that could confront us in November?
Well, I think the key problem is, as your viewers might be well aware, the United States has a very, very unusual way of electing the president. We don't rely on a direct national popular vote. We rely on this very antiquated, anachronistic electoral college system, which awards the entirety of an electoral college votes of a state, depending on who wins the state's popular vote. And what can happen, and we saw this very